that kind of cool. Maybe I could erase the moment you walked in and when I saw your face. 'Cause look what you have done to me. I'm losing it completely. I wish that I was a madman, so bad maybe I wouldn't fall for you. Because you made me a madman, and I lose it all when I'm with you. Hey, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how you pull it off. I feel the world stop moving. And when I look at you, I'm lost. I wish that I was a madman, so that maybe I wouldn't fall for you. Because you make me a madman, and I lose it all when I'm with you. I wish that I was a madman, so that maybe I wouldn't fall for you. Because you make me a madman, and I lose it all when I'm with you.
Good morning and welcome to today's show. Now, in today's show, I wanted to go through working from home, but then also having some internet issues. And I'm talking about experience because that's what happened to me this week. So let's get into the show. Hi, my name is Jason Kruger, and I help heart-centered businesses build and automate their online marketing systems. Now, as I said before, I've got a bit of experience with this because it happened to me at the beginning of the week. And if you were looking out for some of the videos and podcasts, etc., that I was meant to put out at the beginning of the week, they didn't go out because I didn't have proper internet. I was actually tethered or had a dongle just so I could get emails and do some work. But the heavy lifting I unfortunately couldn't do because I didn't have broadband. Now, do you work from home? Or have you started working from home during the last 12 to 18 months? How have you found working from home? Has it been a great experience? Let me know down in the comments because I would like to expand on this potentially in future videos. Working from home can be great. Yes, you're working from home. You don't have all those pressures of commuting into work. And you can probably start working a lot sooner. But are there other difficulties that you need to think about or other things that you need to think about while working from home? As I said, yeah, working from home is great, but I think people think that because you're working from home that you can do a lot of other jobs around the house, for instance. Now, I do think those thoughts and have changed over the last 12 to 18 months because I think people realize what people are actually doing at home. So, those thoughts are probably not as strong as they once were. But when you're working from home, do you actually have a dedicated space to actually work from? Or are you working on the kitchen table or in your bedroom? Because that's the only quiet place that you can find in the house. Now, not everyone is going to be fortunate enough to have a dedicated room where they can work from. And you just got to make do with what you have. But I do think there are going to be some things that you will need when working from home. It's just, that's how it is. When working from home, there are always going to be things that need to be done around the house. And there's also going to be your normal work, but it's trying to find a balance so that you can try and do all of those things. And again, I'm talking from my own experience. I have been working from home now for almost 8 years. Or actually, it has been 8 years. My anniversary of working for myself was the 1st of June 2013. So yes, we're in June, midway through June. So yes, I've been doing this for just over 8 years now. And yes, there have been some struggles because there's always other tasks to do other than your work, and sometimes you always find those distractions. So you're not always just doing your work, you're doing some things around the house. And I think when you're working from home, you do have to have that discipline where you know that you're going to have to get this work done and everything else has to be ignored. And yes, working from home can be difficult because you're working from home and you can always find those other distractions to do rather than the work that you are meant to be doing. But I think you got to have that discipline to just focus on that work at hand. And that's where I think having a dedicated space where you can do your work without those distractions and knowing that between these times, that's all you're going to be doing. And if people are in the house, they also need to be told that between these times, I'm working, I can't be distracted with doing other things. But when you are working from home, what kind of equipment or other stuff do you need when working from home? Yes, you're going to need your laptop. You know, if you need that for the work that you do. But where do you actually work? Do you work, as I said, at a dining room table, at a dedicated desk? You know, try and make sure that it is clutter-free, that it is distraction-free, so that you don't get distracted by other things. I'm lucky in that I do have my own space here, and yes, I do also work on the dining room table, but no one else is at home, and I've taught myself to be disciplined to just get the work done. But I do have kind of two areas where I can do my work, and I have got dedicated spaces where I can do that work. But when it comes down to the other equipment, yes, you need a desk, but you also need a comfortable chair, or a comfortable working environment, because without that, you're going to find it difficult working from home, especially if you're going to be doing it. Like I said, for myself, I've been doing it now for the last 8 years. You want a comfortable working space, otherwise you're not going to enjoy it, especially when, if you've been working in the kind of the corporate sector or working in an office, you have that buzz of other people working around you. When you're working for yourself and working from home, you don't have that. It's just you, and you've just got to be motivated and disciplined yourself to do everything. So there are those aspects that you need to think about, because it's difficult working at home if you don't have a lot of other contact, and especially if you're working for yourself, that can even be lonelier. So you need to find other things to help you not fall into any type of rut, to keep yourself motivated and moving forward. So kind of work environment is really important, but then it also comes down to the equipment that you're going to need for working at home. And most of us are all going to have laptops where we can work anywhere. But you also need to make sure that you're not always hunched over a laptop, because you're going to have issues with posture and all that. So as I said, you need a nice chair, but you also probably need a laptop riser. Now, I do actually have one here, and you can get these, on Amazon, and they're not that expensive. But what that does is just lifts your laptop up so that you can try and get more in line with it, so you're not being hunched over. Then having a keyboard and mouse is also going to be something that you're going to need. And if you are working a lot from home now, and you're going to be doing a lot of video calls, having a decent webcam or camera system like I have here is going to be paramount, because you do want to, have that extra quality. And I do have other videos talking about how you can use your mobile phone as a webcam, so you don't have to go out and buy expensive cameras, and especially not going out and buying an expensive webcam, because the cameras on those aren't going to be worth the cost. The quality is just not that great. So if you can use your mobile phone as a webcam, then by all means use that, because the quality is just going to be far superior. And as I said, I've got videos on my YouTube channel showing you how to do that. And if you're taking a lot of phone calls, yes, mobile phone for that is also going to be important. Video calls using Zoom and other systems like Microsoft Teams, WebEx, all of those, depending on what you're comfortable using. But then there's this main thing that you're going to need if you are accessing emails and video calls and all of that, and that is your internet. And as I said, I've had issues this week where I haven't had my main broadband. Now, I've got full fiber right to the house. I've got their biggest package, because I do live video and a lot of video stuff. I need the bandwidth. So I do have, a good internet package. But having all of that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be able to use it all the time. Woke up Monday morning, internet and router, everything has gone down. And, on to BT, that's who I am with. And finally, they've diagnosed those issues after 2 days, and it got sorted on Wednesday morning. But it got me thinking, because part of my house is a smart house, which a lot of people have nowadays, where they've got their lights connected to the internet and to the different voice assistants that you can use to switch those lights on and off, and various other appliances maybe that you have in the house. And when you don't have the internet, that's when you realize how dependent we are on it. Just even for our everyday lives, it's everything can kind of grind to a halt. And that's what kind of happened with us for 2 and a bit days, where we had to use dongles. Luckily, I have a dongle anyway for when we travel, so we managed to use that for some of our laptops and tablets, etc. But was it easy? Not always, because people are in different rooms and it doesn't stretch that far, and it doesn't have the speed or the capacity that normal internet has. So that's why I couldn't go live on Wednesday morning, because I didn't have the bandwidth to be able to do that. And I couldn't upload any of my videos, because the videos that I create are large in size. It's high quality, and they're 5 to 10 gigs, and you don't want to be uploading that on dongle internet, because it can take time. Now, of course, with 5G, if you got that, it'd probably be a lot quicker. But if you're not in those areas, then you can't do all of that type of work. Luckily, the dongle did allow me still to do video calls on Monday, but you could see every now and again it was a little bit choppy. So what have I done since then? Well, I've been looking at ways that I can try and have a backup type system. Yes, I already had a backup. I had the dongles I could tether to my phone to make sure that I could still work, and I did. Monday, Tuesday, I'd still worked. But sometimes you do need to have these type of backup plans when you're working from home, because if you are now working from home full time, having those types of systems can be crucial, especially if your business relies on it, and my business relies on it. I need internet to be able to do a lot of my work. So without it, it does make you realize how dependent you are on it. So I have gone and changed my broadband packages. Luckily, BT have got a new service that's come out where it will have a cellular backup. Again, it's not going to be the same as the full fiber, but at least then everything in the house will still work, because it will go through the cellular signal. Now, there are other ways that you could have backup systems. You could have a backup broadband line with another provider coming into your property. And, if you are truly dependent on broadband and your business really relies on it, then you might have to go down that route. And yes, I could probably have gone down that route myself, but I don't want that extra cost when it might go out once in a blue moon. I've been lucky in that I've been in the property that we're in for almost 3 years, and this is the first time I've had any real issue like that. But having that cellular connection now as a backup does mean that everything in the house will still work, and I can still have a lot of my different equipment connected, and I don't have to go through separate dongles to be able to do that. So do you have a backup plan for when you work at home? Please leave a comment down below just to let me know how do you do it. Do you have backup plans for your business for when you're working from home and something like this might happen? It can be quite vital to your business. Internet is one of those things where until it's gone, you don't realize how difficult it is working without it. And your backup plan might be, yes, I'm just going to go to the local coffee shop. And sometimes you can do that. No issues with that. But over the last 12 months, that has been more difficult to be able to do with all the different restrictions. So again, a lot of those types of things you do need to think about, because it's going to affect your business. And luckily nowadays, any internet issues can be resolved fairly quickly. You might be down for a few days, but it's not going to be like it's going to be weeks or months where you're not going to have broadband. But in those few days, you might need to have important video calls or anything like that. So you do need to make sure that you are prepared. So please leave a comment down below and let me know what it is. How do you prepare working from home? How have you found it over the last 12 to 18 months working from home, if you've just started out or if you've kind of been thrust into that situation? Where do you work? How are you finding it? Please leave a comment down below, and I would love to kind of expand on this topic going forward to see how other people have been handling it recently, or if you're kind of a seasoned pro and have always been working from home, how have you found it? You know, do you have things to help keep you motivated working from home? So I hope you've enjoyed today's topic, and if you would like to see more videos, please subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell, and that will let you know when I next upload a video or when I next go live. And hopefully from next week, everything will be back on schedule, and I've got a lot of more content planned. So we're going to catch up with all of that as well. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next one.